Good morning. Your time now is 5:30. I'm Chelsea Jones.
And I'm Anna McAllister. Happy Monday, everybody.
Happy Monday. It's also Shopping Reminder Day, National Shopping Reminder Day, whatever that is. Lexi?
Well, I don't know either, but maybe it's because, it's the Monday before Thanksgiving, so if you need some last-minute stuff maybe, or if you're getting a head start on your holiday shopping, you may want to do it maybe for today, because it's going to get a little rainy by tomorrow.
Oh, that's
so
nice.
Today would be the day to do so.
Anna, do you even Black Friday shop or anything?
See, the way my bank account is set up, I don't do any of that. My family will be getting a kiss and a hug from me. That is what they're going to be
Amen. I'm right there with you, sister.
Yeah. Got those student loans to pay. It gets pricey out there, you know?
Faux show.
Yes. And you were saying about the rain for shopping, so what's going on with that, Lexi?
So we have that first system that we've basically been talking about since last week that's going to be moving in by tomorrow, and it's the first one out of the second, out of two that we're going to see later on this week. But for today, we're going to enjoy a nice afternoon. We'll see a little bit of increase in cloud cover, but still going to be pleasant conditions with temperatures getting up into the upper 60s and lower 70s. Clear skies to start off our early Monday morning, but again, the cloud cover has not moved in just yet. Currently, right now, we're sitting at 44 degrees. Winds are nice and calm. That is your forecast first.
Well, a new chapter in the controversial war crimes case of Navy SEAL Edward Gallagher this weekend.
And it involves a major military shakeup. John Lawrence reports.
Navy Secretary Richard Spencer ousted this weekend.
You don't go to your boss's boss and petition without letting your boss know.
According to a senior defense official, Spencer proposed a secret agreement with the White House regarding the case of Navy SEAL Eddie Gallagher.
It befuddles me why, at that level, you would have conversations with the White House about something that is so controversial and so public without including your boss, in this case, the Secretary of Defense.
Gallagher was convicted in July of discrediting the armed services for posing next to the body of a dead 12-year-old ISIS fighter. Gallagher was demoted, but President Trump reinstated his rank last week against the advice of Defense Secretary Mark Esper.
This is all about ego and retaliation. This has nothing to do with good order and discipline. They could have taken my trident at any time they wanted. Now they're trying to take it after the president restored my rank.
The president tweeted Sunday that Spencer was fired because of how he handled the Gallagher case and because of cost overruns in Navy contracting. But Spencer says he was ousted because, quote, I no longer share the same understanding with the commander-in-chief who appointed me in regards to the key principle of good order and discipline. I'm John Lawrence reporting.
President Trump tweeted he will nominate the U.S. ambassador to Norway, Ken Braithwaite, to be his next Navy secretary. The retired Navy admiral will replace outgoing Navy Secretary Richard Spencer. In a resignation letter from Spencer himself, he says he was fired because of his refusal to follow an order that he thought would violate good order and discipline.
Detectives still aren't saying who they think pulled the trigger at a deadly nightclub shooting in Tallulah. It happened at a dance hall known as Club Peg. According to authorities, a person went to a vehicle outside the club following an argument. That person then began shooting into a large crowd of people. The victim who was killed has not been named. 6 others, whose names are also being withheld, were injured. The shooting remains under investigation.
The Lincoln Parish Sheriff's Department is asking for the public's help to find a missing runaway teen. They're trying to find 15-year-old Brian Spears. Brian is originally from the New Orleans area and has been living in Lincoln Parish with family members for about 1 to 2 months. His family has not seen or heard from him since Monday, November 11th at about noon. There are no known friends or locations where he may be at this time. If you've seen Brian or know where he is, please call the Lincoln Parish Sheriff's Department at the number above.
Over the weekend, representatives from Louisiana Office of Motor Vehicles and the Office of Technology Services have worked to restore network connections and customer services across the state. With significant process in the network restoration, OMV officials anticipate opening 8 main regional offices today. All public tag agents will be open and available to assist with vehicle registrations only. Below are a list of several regional offices scheduled to be open today. OTS technicians will be at each to troubleshoot any issues, and for the full list, head to our website, myarklamis.com.
A suspect in the shooting death of a Mississippi retired Georgia police chief is now in custody. 41-year-old Christopher Denson is charged with the murder in the death of his uncle, Almon Turner. Police say they were at a family gathering at a gaming lounge when Denson went to his car, got an AK-47 assault rifle, returned and killed Turner. Police say he fired about 6 shots when somebody grabbed him and someone else took the gun, and Denson took off in his car. Police say they tracked him down to his apartment in Meridian, Mississippi, and arrested him without incident Sunday. Bond was set at $1 million. There's no word on a motive in the attack, but authorities say it looks like Turner was the intended target.
Flu season is hitting the Arklamists hard and early, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Louisiana is among the top states reporting high activity levels of influenza-like illnesses. California and Maryland also reporting widespread levels of the virus. The CDC says flu season has seen its earliest start in 10 years, and for the first time in 27 years, a strain of the flu that's particularly tough on kids is also showing up early. There is a significant flu activity in all but 12 states, and it's hitting the Southeast and Southwest the hardest. Arkansas and Oklahoma have reported having a low-level activity, and Texas has a moderate level.
Well, caught on camera, a substitute teacher at a Texas high school was caught telling a Spanish-speaking student to speak English.
Terrible. Julio Cesar Chavez explains the details around what's being called a racist remark.
Speak English. We're in America. Give me your phone.
This was the moment a substitute teacher told a Socorro High School student to speak English in the middle of a busy classroom. We spoke to the students in the video. He told us students in the classrooms were all using their phones, so he pulled his out to watch the Argentina versus Uruguay match. It's then the substitute went over to her.
I saw that she was going to get it, so I got it too, and I told her, no, what? No, ¿por qué? And then that's when she said, talk English, we're in America.
Several classmates were recording the incident.
Speak English. We're in America. Give me your phone.
I thought it was a little racist because, I mean, you know, we live on the border, and it's all Mexican Latinos.
Gobian said he had never run into this before with any teacher, staff, or sub.
And this is like the first time, well, for me, it's the first time someone being racist in Socorro High School.
Students are allowed to use phones with teacher permission, but Gobian said no other student was asked to hand over theirs. Gobian said the substitute then asked for security, who she reportedly told he had pushed her. He says he did not, and when students shared video with security, the situation calmed down. Gobian was pulled out of class. We reached out to the Socorro School District, who said, quote, the incident in the video is being investigated. Appropriate action per our employee code of conduct policies will be taken.
Well, some exciting changes for our gas card giveaway. If the winner doesn't call, the prize rolls over and grows and grows. Every weeknight on NBC 10 at 10, you have a chance to win free gas. The prize is a $50 gas card brought to you by the Jim Taylor dealerships. If your name is called, you have by the end of the newscast to claim your prize. And if the winner doesn't call, well, the next night the prize is $100 and continues to grow until the winner calls. Register at one of the Jim Taylor dealerships or go to myarklamists.com and click on the contest tab. Now, coming up, we've got more news on the way, including a look at your local sports.
We give you a recap of the games that happened over the weekend, but first, here's Lexi with a look at your forecast.